Hey, how's everyone doing? Welcome to John Can Cook. This is episode 2. The first episode I did well over a year ago. Figured it was time for another one. So today we're going to be making 2 dishes. Not 1, but 2. We're going to make hummus. I'm going to show you how to make traditional hummus. And then how to do it John's way. And then over here we're going to make what's called a Pastistio, which is like a Greek style lasagna with a bechamel topping. And I just learned after many years of cooking that you can boil pasta in shallow water, so I'm going to give that a whirl and I'll be right back. Yo, okay, I'm back. So here's my penne noodles, and I'm going to put some of this. You should put salt in your water and maybe some oil so they don't stick. So here's my extra virgin, of course. I'm gonna put in there. Here's my little doggy. Put the extra virgin in the shallow water. And then most people would put salt in here, but I'm just gonna put this. It's like a Hungarian vegetable spice, but the main ingredient is chicken based. So it's like a seasoned vegetable, dehydrated vegetable, seasoned chicken broth. Put some of that in there. I'm going to drop the penne. See how there's barely any water on there? Most chefs will go crazy and say, oh my god, what are you doing? So, get those cooking and start prepping my hummus. I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back, and here we are in the noodle process. They're al dente now. The juice, the water has turned into like a juice now, and I also threw a clove of garlic in there, so it'd be garlic flavored water. Now I'm gonna put these 2 cans of chickpeas, which I drained. Here's the juice right here, and these 2 cans of chickpeas in there. This clove of elephant garlic I'm gonna throw in here, and then I'm gonna put like a quarter of this onion in there because I like my hummus strong. And then I'm gonna add olive oil, salt, and pepper, and that'll be your basic hummus. And then I'll show you how I make it John hummus. Okay, so here we are. I drained the noodles. Here's the what was left over, and that's almost like a sauce. And these noodles have like this glaze on them now. Just the noodles like this, because you could eat them just like that. And there's no butter in there or nothing. It's just water and 1 garlic clove and this seasoning. Alright, so back to the hummus now. I got the 2 cans of chickpeas in there, a clove of elephant garlic, a quarter of a white onion, and right now most people will put salt, but I'm going to put this called Vegeta seasoning. Put a little bit of that. I'm kind of using that as a salt in this video. I added some olive oil, okay, and let me find the lid, and I'll be right back. Alright, so we got the lid. So we got 2 cans of chickpeas, quarter of a small white onion, small clove from elephant garlic, some olive oil, and some salt, and you can put pepper too, and then you just start. I forget to mention that most people will put also tahini paste in here, but I don't like tahini paste, but it would be this plus tahini paste to make traditional. Start it off on a low setting, and then you go faster. Okay, so I'm back. So it's not blending very well, which means it's dry. So this is when you add some of that chickpea juice, just a little bit in there, and then you hit it again with the blender. And you see how it's moving a little better now. Okay, so that's your basic hummus. If you add tahini paste to that, that's your basic hummus. Okay, now I'm gonna John it up for you guys, okay? So there's your standard hummus. Again, 2 cans chickpeas, quarter of a white onion, 1 small clove of elephant garlic. That's kind of like a oxymoron, but now, and tahini paste to make it traditional, but I don't put tahini paste in mine. So this is when I say I'm gonna John it up. Here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna take some of these manzanilla olives, which I love, throw them in there, put some juice in there with it, the olives, right there, a few more, because I really like the flavor, and maybe some juice, and then some of this 3-bean salad. and some of the juice from that. And then if you want, I'll take a little bit of this. Hold on. This is a buttermilk ranch dressing. Just put a touch. You don't have to put a lot. Just a little right there. And then you blend it up again, and you taste it, and then you just kind of tweak it from there. And that's how you make hummus your way, or John's way. So now you taste the hummus. It's got a nice creamy texture. See that? You should be able to see that. Give it a taste. That's good stuff. To me, it just needs a little more salt, so I'll put a little more salt in there, blend it in, and I'm done. There's John's hummus. John's manzanilla 3-bean, onion, olive oil, salt, and chickpea hummus. No tahini. I don't like tahini. So there's the hummus, and we'll now start working on the Pastistio, Greek lasagna. Okay, so now I got onion, olive oil, and garlic, salt, and white pepper, and I'm cooking this down so I can sweat these onions and garlic a little bit, and then I'm going to add some ground beef to this for the Pastistio. So now I got some ground chuck in there, and I'm breaking it up to make this meat sauce for the Pastistio. And I'm going to break it up, brown it off, and season it some more as I go along. Okay, so now I have browned off my meat. I'm going to add some diced tomatoes and some Hunt's tomato sauce to this. Okay, so I got my meat browned down. I threw a bay leaf in there. I'm going to throw some cinnamon in there. Just a little bit of cinnamon. That's it. You don't need a lot. And I'm going to stir that in there and let it simmer. Maybe add a little more sauce here and there because it's getting nice and thick. I'll probably add a little bit of Parmesan cheese also. And that'll be the sauce for the Pastistio. Okay, so now I add the sauce, Parmesan cheese, and the noodles in the sauce, and I mix it all together. Most Greeks put the noodles down in the pan first, and then sauce, and then the bechamel, but you always get like dry parts. I like to have sauce and noodle and bechamel in every bite. So now I mix it all together, and then I'll start working on my bechamel topping. Okay, so now I got my noodles and my meat mixed all together, non-traditionally. I put my little John effect on there. And now I took it looks like almost a gravy, but that's actually the water left over from boiling the noodles. It made like this delicious light sauce. Now I'm adding a stick of butter to it and let that melt. Then I'm going to stir in flour until it becomes like a paste. I'll be right back with that. Okay, so now I got my leftover pasta water and then 1 stick of butter. I'm going to add this flour to the pot. About that much, I'd say, and stir it in. And you add more as you need it. I'm obviously going to need more because it's not the right consistency. Well, actually it is starting to become more rooey. You see how it gets thick like that? See how it's getting thick? And you let it cook a little bit. Let it cook. And then when it gets to, I'll show you the color, then you'll add some milk. Okay, so I'll let the roux cook down a little bit. And now, turn the heat up a little bit. And I'm going to add milk. Add milk. Usually add milk and stir at the same time, but I'm kind of running a camera too. So keep stirring. Don't let that get clumpy. And you'll see as it gets warmer, the milk gets thicker, and it becomes like a white gravy or a bechamel. But bechamel doesn't have that pasta water in it. That's just the John touch. Add flavor to the dish, in my opinion. Okay, we'll be right back. Alright, so I don't know if you can see, but the bechamel's got nice and thick. It's like a cream sauce, or it's like a sausage gravy. If you add like grilled sausage to this, you got biscuits and gravy. So now I take this, I pour it on top of the noodle and meat mixture. Just pour it right on top. Try to get all the bases covered. Right. And I undercooked the noodles a little bit so that because I'm about to put this in the oven now at 400 degrees so I could brown this. I'm also going to put one of my favorite things to say in Greek is muskokarido, which means nutmeg. And you put the nutmeg on top like this. Falls on there nicely. Then you put that in the oven and brown the top, and then you have pastistio. I'll be right back. So now you see I got them in the oven at 400 degrees. I'm gonna wait till the top, till it gets brown. Alright, so about 45-50 minutes in the oven. And there's your finished pastistio. You can see the bechamel is seeped into the sides there. And what you want to do from here is put it in the refrigerator overnight. Let it get cold, and then you cut it into squares, and then you slowly defrost it in the microwave when you want to serve it again. Because if you try to cut it now, it's way too hot. It needs to get cooled down, or at least cooled down to about 70 degrees, because right now it's like 180, 160 degrees. And there's John Can Cook, Pastistio, and hummus. Alright, thanks for watching. I appreciate it. Bye.